We're ready to get started, and I'm very pleased to be welcoming our keynote speaker, Bobby Stempfley, who's from Department of Homeland Security.
So actually, I'm not sure whether I should say good afternoon or good evening because I'm not really sure what time zone I'm in at the moment. I want to thank you all for having me here today. It's a wonderful opportunity to come and speak to you during the 7th Annual National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And isn't that great? The 7th Annual National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Thank you. I had the opportunity last night and earlier this week to speak to some kids, which is always fun, right? Because cyber is everywhere, and it's an important audience for us to target. And in that discussion, we were talking about how pervasive cyber is, right? It's easy to think about it in terms of the computers. We all have our iPhones or our cell phones in front of us. But an example I used for the kids was I pulled out car keys. And I said, cyber is really pervasive, right? It's everywhere. It's in my pocket because it's in my car keys. And it's a big environment. And so I know that in this audience, there's an understanding of how pervasive it is. And I really want to thank you for inviting me to come and speak today. And I was thrilled to hear that you had, this program was awarded the DHS Cyber Challenge for the best grassroots effort as a part of it. So I think you all owe yourselves a round of applause for that as well. Excuse me. So our nation, it's at risk a little here, isn't it? There are a few things that we're working our way through as a part of it, and it's obviously how important this topic is, the size of this audience today. Government can't deliver services without cyber, right? Companies can't deliver their services without the internet and without this connection point. These transactions are so important for us, for our economic base, in order to be successful. And in order to do that, we have to work together, right? We have to work together. We are so interdependent in this environment. We're used to historically in the federal government, we're used to some real clarity, right? We're used to structures that exist and create environments where I can handle energy on this side and I can handle cyber here and I can handle transportation over here. This is a pervasive environment, right? This cyber connectivity is so pervasive. It is so interdependent as a part of it that we have to handle new approaches, right? We have to develop new partnerships in order to respond to these activities. And I think this particular Secure Our eCity is a good example of one of those unique partnerships activities that needs to come across. It's not as though we could handle it in the same way across the board. One of the things that I always am amazed by is how uninformed people are of this pervasive nature, right? 2 billion internet users. 2 billion internet users? That's a huge number, isn't it? We believe that by 2015, Brazil, Russia, China, India, and Indonesia internet use will double. They are already in the top 20 countries in the world in internet usage. But when that doubles, it's a different tenor of the internet environment, right? It is a World Wide Web, we know that, a global environment as a part of it. But in the United States, 77% of the population is connected. Right, so if you think about that, if only 77% of the population is connected, but we can't deliver government services and we can't deliver business services without the internet, there's a little bit of a dichotomy there we have to continue to work on. 2.6 billion hours spent on the internet every month in the United States. In my conversations with the kids over the last part of the week, the question was, if 900 million hours are spent on Facebook and YouTube, when do we get to the homework? So if 2.6 billion hours are spent on the internet each month by Americans, when do we get to the productivity? It's another interesting question as we go forward. So if this is so much a part of our lives now and a part of our ethos, how do we partner? How do we work together to overcome the risk that this provides as a part of it? And what are those unique partnerships that need to be created that maybe hadn't been a part of where we were in the past? So I'm pleased, from the Department of Homeland Security's perspective, to be a part of a program that's done this, that's really worked to develop different kinds of relationships with critical infrastructure partners as a part of it. Early warning notifications to industry, communication with the American public about the kinds of cyber activities that are going on that need to be handled and aware of. So we're very aggressively building these capabilities in order to improve these defense postures across the nation as a whole. We just completed a major exercise, Cyberstorm 3, last week, actually, where we tested out some of these relationships as a part of it. We have put in place detection systems and detection environments across the federal government. If you haven't heard of our Einstein program is about the collection and detection and protection efforts for the federal government, for departments and agencies. We've been working very hard in maturing our national Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Center. And so Cyberstorm 3 was really a pinnacle event for this organization. This particular organization in DHS brings together the communications sector, the cybersecurity efforts on the IT infrastructure, brings together the multi-state information sharing and analysis center, major critical infrastructure partners from the IT sector and other sectors in a single location where we can look at particular activities, understand what's going on, and understand how to share information, break down the trust barriers that have historically been in the way from that sharing of information, and bring forward. This NKIC, as we call it, because in the federal government we have to have acronyms, so we call it the NKIC. This NKIC is the place in which we execute the National Cybersecurity Incident Response Plan. So we have a pre-approved plan and written down for the kinds of roles, responsibilities, and activities that would have to occur at a national level in response to any cyber incident as a part of that activity. So these efforts have really helped us put in place a foundation for this kind of partnership that's necessary. It's helped us to work across the federal government and the states, across the federal government, the states, the local major urban area partners, and across industry and the federal government in order to establish avenues of information sharing, of warning, and of notification as a part of it. This interagency effort is very important to us. I'm pleased to say that during this Cybersecurity Awareness Month, we had all 50 states sign a proclamation on the importance of cybersecurity, right, for the first time. It's quite an effort to have all 50 governors recognize the importance of cybersecurity to their success and to the delivery of services to their citizens as a part of it. But this partnership is so important, and this partnership relies upon our ability as a community to be technically competent and operationally proficient. Right? So we have to have capabilities that are available to us in order to understand what's going on and in order to respond as a part of this. So I talked about our Einstein 2 system, our intrusion detection solution that's being deployed across the federal government. We also have a series of capabilities that defines what federal departments and agencies have to meet in terms of standards for their cybersecurity capabilities. This is known as our Trusted Internet Connection Program, and we go out and evaluate federal departments and agencies against those standards to identify where they are in terms of capability. And as they go forward, as departments and agencies go forward in their revising their architecture and taking the cost-efficient measures that they're taking, we're able to advise them in building that architecture in a more secure manner as a part of it. So it's a really wonderful teaming arrangement at that environment.